Hey guys, it's Meredith here, long time no see. Happy Wednesday, it's 1:02. My internet decided to go out right before I started. So we're starting 2 minutes late. But I wanted to give you a message today on gifts, talents, and purpose. Because I think sometimes we get these confused, and worse, sometimes we don't think we have any of them. So yesterday I posted a quote. Discovering, developing, and sharing our gifts is a spiritual practice. It's our way for us to grow stronger in our faith, from Brene Brown. And I truly believe it's a way for us to grow closer to God. So my question for you is, do you know that you have gifts and that you were made for a purpose to share your purpose with the world? I've talked to a lot of people who kind of feel like they don't have any purpose, that they don't really know why they're here, and I really want to help you change that today. So the difference between talents and gifts, what I have learned is talents are something you're born with, something that is inherited. It's given to you at birth. Spiritual gifts are something that are given to you as you renew your faith. My talents, what I didn't find out until 25 years after I kind of tapped them, is my writing. I never realized that my writing was a talent because it wasn't really nurtured. Well, jump forward to this past weekend, I was at a writers' conference and got reconfirmed that my writing is a gift. So there's my gift. What's my spiritual gift? I have learned that my spiritual gift is encouragement. So encouragement means that I want to encourage people, and here's the deal. Talents, I can use my writing and I can use my gifts, my spiritual gifts, but they kind of got to go together. So let me talk a little bit about more of that. A lot of times, I mentioned that some of us think that we don't have a purpose, we put ourselves down, we don't think we have gifts, and what I think is so funny is how much the enemy tries to use that. But it's truly that God uses those who don't have it all figured out, who are weak, who don't seem to have it all together, that he uses the most for his purposes. So let me read to you 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verses 26 through, I think, 28. Brothers and sisters, think of what you were when you were called. Not many of you were wise by human standards. Not many were influential. Not many were of noble birth. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. God chose the lowly things of this world and the despised things and the things that are not to nullify the things that are, so that no one may boast before him. I think that is so cool, because when I am down on myself, I realize, and when I'm questioning, wait, God, you want to use me? Why do you want to use me? Oh, because he chose me because I don't have it all figured out. He chose me going, I chose you because I want to work through you. And I think we have to realize that we're not supposed to have it all figured out. So my next thing is, there are 3 things that we can do to sabotage ourselves. One is we can hide our gifts. We can think that people don't want to hear our gifts or see our gifts, and that is, again, wrong. You can see there's a little light behind me. So I'm going to share with you Matthew chapter 5, verses 14 through 16. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So really, us hiding our light and thinking we're not good enough, or fear of failing or being rejected, really doesn't serve us well. So hiding is one thing. The second thing is we over-prepare. I am so good at that. Perfect example, recently we had all 3 kids leave the house. They haven't been around, so what does Meredith do? She wants to do 3 huge projects with Healthy Voice in the fall. I want to start a podcast, teach a course, and write a book. What? What? 3 huge things. So what happened was, I knew that God was kind of saying to me, Meredith, will you slow down? Will you let my plans take light? Let me give you one thing. So what did he do? He took away the podcast. He took away the course I wanted to teach. And he was like, okay, here's the one thing I want to focus on. And so when I went to this writers conference last weekend, it was confirmed. It was like, yes, this is what I want you to do. And I think we so often miss, because we're not listening to God. We're so busy rushing towards our plan that we don't hear that God's like, but this is your calling. This is what I want you to do. This is how I want you to live on purpose right now. So we hide, we over-prepare, and we trust only our plan. I kind of mentioned that. You know, we live in such a performance-driven society. We can so think that our plan has to be the one, and I have so tried to do that. But every time my plan is, you know, going 100 miles an hour, or I'm stressed out about it, it goes off track. And I think you got to listen to yourself when you get really stressed, because sometimes when we're really stressed, you know, there's something, we're blocking ourselves. We're blocking God from using us. So what I want to tell you is, why am I telling you all this? Well, because I'm very passionate about it, but also because I was at this writers conference and I saw Don Piper speak, who is the author of 90 Minutes in Heaven. And I don't have my book in my hand. But it was a fascinating speech. There's a movie about it too, about how he died in a car accident and went to heaven, and what he saw. And what got me the most was that it's like he was brought back for a purpose. He was brought back to share his story. And I kept hearing him say, and I can't remember the exact line, but I kept hearing him say, people just want to be understood. So to be with someone who understands them is the greatest purpose you can have. And so here he comes back in all this pain, and he wakes up and his body is pretty much, he can't do anything. He's in the hospital for like a year. And he's going, why did you bring me back here, God? Why did you bring me back here? And he realized, instead of going into this self-pity of, oh, I'm hurting, God was like, I want to use you. So it really kind of showed how he was kind of reaching out to all these people that were hurting, and reaching out to people that had been injured, that had been through pain. And because he gets it, people got to get closer to God. So that's the thing. It's like not hiding our pain, not thinking that our plan needs to be the one, because you just don't know how God's going to use your pain. And it's taken me so long to figure that, because I so easily want to hide, but you know, there's no use in hiding that. And the last thing I want to say is purpose. I don't know how many of you have read Purpose-Driven Life, but I don't know how many of you know Rick Warren. Rick Warren has a quote: "You cannot fulfill God's purposes for your life while focusing on your own plans." This book, I don't know if you've read it. I know Michael Phelps, and I am not friends with Rick Warren. I am not promoting him because I'm, you know, this is just me saying this book helped me. It may help you. This is the second edition of it that I have read for the second time. I first read it when I was in my deepest, darkest struggle in Washington, when I just had so much going on inside. I was ripped apart. I mean, I just completely hated myself. You know, everything was going great. I looked really good, but in the inside I was dying. And this book helped me find my purpose. This book helped me see that God had created me for a plan, and all that pain that I was going through, he wanted to use. So pick up that book if you haven't read it. It's just really awesome. And if you have read it, read it again, because when I read it again, it was like, oh, so clear. I get it. The other book, which I couldn't find, is called Shape. Just remember Shape. It's SHAPE, and it's about learning about your spiritual gifts and what the gift that God gave you to share with the world. And it's helped me so much to just really focus on trusting what God's got planned for me, and not to, you know, people laugh about it. I'm like, oh, my gift is encouragement. And people are like, oh, encouragement. That's really shocking. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But how easily can I block it? So I want you to think about, how am I blocking my gifts? Maybe I really need to see, what are my talents? Because especially if you're miserable in what you're doing, you know, maybe God wants you to do something different, or really to nurture the gift that he's given you that you may be hiding. So that's, I think, everything I wanted to say. I'm going to put some stuff on my Facebook so that you can, on my blog, so that you can get a little more info. But I'm glad a couple of you joined, and I will see you guys next week. Glad to be back, and I hope everyone stays safe during the hurricane, and we'll be sending out prayers for you all. All right, have a good one, you guys. Bye.